And then today we're talking about long distance relationships. Mumefikiwa akina Sarasash. No, she's not in a long distance relationship. But how long is too long to stay in a long distance relationship without a clear end plan? I was watching content on TikTok, and there's so many people who are in long distance relationships. I was doing my research after someone told me they've been at it with this chick. She's Uko in Texas. She's a Kenyan. He's Kenyan. And they've been back and forthing and talking, and it doesn't feel like it's going anywhere. Should you have, a time period as to how long you're supposed to do long distance? Because this chick had gone to school. She finished her degree. She got into the job market in the US. She's clearly not coming back home. And he also can't wait forever. So what then happens? We find out in a moment.
Sugar and Spice on 94.4. Spice FM.
Right around town and today, watu wakina Sarasash na kikundi cha diaspora in it, and you know what I'm saying? Karibieni leo tunakuja kwa discuss. But on the real, you've even called for backup. You can't face me by yourself. You're calling Ainea Ojiambo. For what reason? I'm not scared of him. I can deal with him early in the morning. The way our president says he'll deal with the opposition. Asubuhi, breakfast. How long is too long to stay in a long distance relationship without a clear end plan? So I have a friend of mine. Okay, let me just call him that. A friend of mine who's been dating a chick who lives in the States. She went to school there, and that was not the plan. She was supposed to finish school and come back home for them to start their life. And many years later, they are still, long distancing, and the timing, it actually throws your entire universe into disarray if you're not careful, because you have to be very intentional about communicating. If you don't, you perish. That whole relationship, you perish. You die. You die with all your ambitions and feelings. So Sarah is going to, Sarah is going to finish me because I'm using her today as my nini. For example, I miss DJ Absolute sometimes. He used to like telling me, for example, and then I would by there I would just die. So long distance relationships come with a lot. Yani, it's hey, you guy, it's a lot it comes with. It's like being an Arsenal fan. Like half the time you're crying, half the time you're crying, half the time you're trying to explain how it's going to get better ahead, and sometimes it doesn't. And before that ahead, wherever you are, it's the full emotional ghetto. Communication, I told you, has to be very intentional. Otherwise, you guys miss each other. And then if you don't live like in Uganda, and if your boyfriend lives in Nyamira and you live in Nairobi, you're not in a long distance relationship. As long as you can drive there in one solid day and come back, chill. This is not your conversation, right? If they live across the border, Uganda, Tanzania, that one can suffice to be long distance relationship. So trust issues also get very amplified because a lot is left in translation, and then sometimes you can't really tell sincerity from a text. You can't stare into someone's eyes and be like, this person is BSing me right now, right? This person is taking me for a fool. So half the time things are blown out of proportion, things that could be usually handled very easily. Maybe a sit down, a coffee, and then you guys iron things out. But because of the distance, a lot of things just get to be drama for your mama unnecessarily. Another thing is you definitely need an end date. You can also just not be long distance relationshiping for the rest of your life. That's not even viable. It's not possible. Something's gonna happen, and someone is going to be in premium tears. Somebody is going to be shedding premium tears. Not to say that people don't have restraint. Of course, self-control and restraint. That's the reason why you guys agreed to a union of that sort in the first place, right? You are like, our love knows no bounds. Yani even distance, oceans, mountains, hills, valleys, and airfares and visas cannot come between us. It's cute for a while until it's not anymore. What am I trying to say? As a couple, you need to set an end to this distance, even if it's just wishful thinking. Just be like, after I have done my 5 solid years in X company, or after I've finished my master's, whatever has taken you to the other side, the partner who has gone to the other side, or whoever is back at home, after you're done with, if you can work remotely, if you can get meaningful employment on the other side, you guys have to have a conversation, that uncomfortable conversation, as to how you're going to bridge this gap that is long distance. Because sometimes, when human beings don't have information, they get gaps, and the mind is an horrible place, because you start filling in the gaps, and half the time it's very negative. So you have to have this conversation, I think, earlier on, and be realistic about it. It's good to have that conversation that I am not quitting my radio job to come to America, for example. And you can say you're not going to quit. Maybe you work in retail, maybe you're flipping burgers, maybe you're in the US Army, maybe you work in finance, maybe whatever your field, So it's good to be honest and say, I don't see myself not doing this. I've worked pretty hard to get to where I am. And sometimes it's also easier to find someone close to you. I know you didn't want me to end the conversation like that. I'm just being honest. I'm like, it's good to put all the cards on the table and be realistic. This whole thing for reading Cinderella storybooks and trying to apply them in real life, then you have a bunch of angry people walking around here pissed off, walking in uppercase because you picked the wrong one or the wrong situation to be in. So be very, very honest, especially about the time period and the plan that's going to end this distance issue, right? And if there's none, then you have your answer right there. But I want to hear from you. Akina ine hao wanaitwa hapa kuja, hao wanakuwa added here wakuje kunisomea kwa Twitter. And Sarah Sash, how long is too long to stay in a long distance relationship without a clear end plan? Are long distance relationships even viable? Who's in one? How many years? How's it working out for you? Successful stories only. Thanks. Hizo zingine tuachie therapist. Nas and R. Kelly, Street Dreams. Okay, I'm loving the requests. You see, when you ask for dope songs, they get played quicker. We don't even have a push and pull. So that was from Jimmy, who got Music Mania correct. He didn't ask for soul songs. Smart man, that one. Jackie Soni Khadija in the house, looking for Barbara Odero, the Divas. And Hazeka, I don't know how you say your name. Manganye, you're listening from South Africa. How do we say? Sawubona. Thank you so much for tuning in to Spice FM from Kenya. In Kenya, rather. So tell a friend to tell a friend. And remember, we have an SG all-in-one app. Today I've come and then I've put I bought snacks from my workmate for my daughter. Everyone's just been coming. I'm like, oh my God, someone's coming to steal my snacks. I'll throw them in my bag. I'm sorry. So our conversation today is about long distance relationships and whether they are even viable at all. And whether you need to set a realistic timeline as to how you're going to long distance, because it's a lot. It's a lot to put yourselves through. And we're speaking from the outside. We don't know anything. Sarah Sash, who came up with this? Ainea Ojambo, ebu come tell them vile uliniambia I invest in warm clothes and blankets before pneumonia. Inimalize, ebu come tell them. Yeah, you'll die of pneumonia if you're in a long distance relationship. And then sometimes it's breeding ground for papas on sharing. Hey, you can find someone has a whole parallel universe and relationship the other side. You're like, what? I saw somewhere a conversation about this woman who had 2 husbands, 2 sets of children, 2 houses. She died a long time ago, somewhere in Europe. And none of them ever found, I think it was in the US, I'm sorry about that. And none of them ever found out until she died. I'm like, oh my God, that Muzungu chick was a Luo man. My God, they come in all shapes and sizes nowadays. But let me continue reading. What wajaluo nakuja kwa DM kunitetesha. You see? People forget long distance for America, and here this one we're talking about this guy and his chick from Texas. People have an entire wife and children in the village. Kitui. Alafu hapa Nairobi akona pia formation. Same formation. And none of them know about each other. And I don't even know how you master that courage to be living a double life. But men, we don't know how to multitask. Really? You don't? You don't say? Really? You don't? Anyway, let me not make this personal. Let me continue reading your messages. Martin Oko itakaniko invested ni kama kuna mali kuna ka feelings. Martin Okongo says, bila commitment tusidanganyane, no jokes. Mtafika mbali, lakini jokes. You will go nowhere. Yeah. Sasa umetoja tuambia poa. Steven says, before committing to long distance relationship, first call yourself to a meeting and understand if you can sustain it. Without an end plan, one shouldn't stay. I think so. Any relationship, long distance relationship is like dating someone and you're not married for 10 years. It's the same, long distance. Someone is just it's going to end in premium tears. You have to have timelines. This is going to happen within this time. And if it does not, please, thank you very much. Sorry. And, next, because what do you do? What do you do? Let me tell you, forever is such a long time to be unhappy. And human beings have refused by day to budge with this one. Forever is a very long time to stay unhappy. Let me read some more messages from Facebook. Jackie Soni Khadija says, this is the real ghetto. You have to die to self before practicing such, because it's a premium kind of tears type of relationship. Chai. I love it. Baba wonder if it ain't worth the wait, achana nayo. But waiting for how long though? You're waiting for the second coming of the Messiah, and then you're still waiting for someone's daughter or son to come back and commit. My God. I'm only waiting to be rich. That's the only thing I'm waiting for personally. Cheptogol Gilbert Kiplimo says he's listening from E10. Thank you. I hope you're enjoying the show. And I think that's about it from your messages. Let me look. Sometimes I don't read your messages. And then after I finished, I'm like, okay, that's it. Zingine zinakuja. Alafu nisiposoma ya mtu unajam. Aya, we listen to some audio. From Yao. Where is it? I have to get today's date right because earlier I showed you guys fire. I played the wrong clip from another date. Okay, so let me read the question again. Let me read the conversation poster. How long is too long to stay in a long distance relationship without a clear end plan? This is what you had to say. The conversation continues on the socials, however, at SpiceFM KE on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Talk to us.
First of all, I don't embrace long distance relationship because if you're part of me, we should spend time together. We raise our kids together. They see mom and dad are present. Second of all, maybe the longest time I can spend without seeing my partner, I can suggest 1 week is enough. Because mostly nowadays we have so many challenges. What I know is that out of picture, out of mind. Yes, be closer to your partner.
For me, it would be an immediate thing to quit that relationship as soon as I realize or I get to understand that clear option or ending plan is not. Anytime I realize there is no clear end plan, that is when I ended. Yes.
First of all, long distance relationship is a scam. So I think the maximum time you should give yourself is 1 day in a long distance relationship. After 1 day, it's never that serious.
The longest time that I can spend in a long distance relationship, I guess not long than a week, because I feel like when we are apart with my person, I feel like emptiness. So I feel like being with her every time. And for sure, for me, I can't embrace long distance relationship because with the current occasions and things that happen, unaweza pata umegongewa, my friend. So I insist that I should be with her. Maybe we live together, be there together. With the current, for example, now in Nairobi, it's raining, man. So imagine.
Okay, according to me, it doesn't matter how long it takes or how short or the plan, nini, because when you start something obviously you must come to an agreement. So if it works for you, fine and good, continue with it. Ikifika point you don't see like it's giving, then you step out.
Yeah, okay. Personally, I think from my experiences, long distance relationship don't really work out most of the times. So I think because it's a long distance relationship and you two are not sure about the future, you're not sure about each other.
Sugar and Spice on 94.4. Spice FM.